Okay, but really, who hasn't gotten totally sucked in by, like, those crazy online deals?
Yeah.
You know? The ones that just seem too good to be true.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel like you just hit the jackpot. You're getting that new phone.
Yeah.
That designer bag. Those limited edition sneakers or something.
Right.
At a price, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
How is this possible? It feels amazing.
It does.
But as the article you submitted points out, sometimes, like, they really are too good to be true.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about these fake e-commerce sites that are popping up everywhere.
Yeah, that's unfortunately becoming a big problem.
So today, we're going to dive deep into how to spot these scams before they drain your bank account.
Yeah. I mean, online shopping has become so second nature for so many of us.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in the moment.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, as more of us shop online, the scammers, they're upping their game too.
Yeah.
You're creating these incredibly convincing websites designed to, like, perfectly mimic the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's becoming harder than ever to tell the difference.
Yeah, they're getting really good at it.
They really are.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here today to give you the knowledge that you need to shop safely and confidently.
Okay, so let's paint a picture here. You're scrolling online, maybe looking for, like, a specific item. Maybe you're just browsing, and all of a sudden you see it. Boom.
Yeah.
This deal that's almost unbelievable. Okay, let's say it's the newest iPhone.
Okay.
Marked down 75%. It's like the deal you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And the website, it looks totally legit. Sleek design, familiar logo, maybe even a name that's almost right, but not quite.
Oh, yeah.
Like amaze0n.com instead of amazon.com.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. The article actually highlighted this exact tactic.
It's pretty common.
It's pretty sneaky.
Oh, yeah. It's very sneaky.
So how do they get away with this? Like, building these really convincing websites?
Well, they're very good at, unfortunately, at what they do.
Right.
They steal logos. They copy website designs, and they even will lift, like, the product descriptions and images straight from the real brand's websites.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that amaze0n.com trick,
Right.
that's a classic example of called typo squatting.
Okay.
And that's where they're relying on people to either, like, mistype a URL or just not pay close attention.
Yeah.
And then there's the psychology of it all. They know how to create, like, a sense of urgency and scarcity.
Right.
They'll use phrases like limited time offer.
Oh, yeah.
Or only a few left.
Yep.
Or exclusive pre-order to push you into making a quick decision without really thinking it through.
Without doing your research.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, I've definitely fallen for those limited time deals before on, legitimate websites.
Yeah, cool.
But it's scary to think that scammers are using the same tactics to like trick people. It's almost like they're playing on our fear of missing out.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
They prey on that impulsive side of us that, wants to grab a good deal before it's gone.
Right.
But in these cases, what you might be getting is a fake product.
Oh, wow.
A knockoff.
Yeah.
Or even nothing at all.
Oh, wow.
And it's not just about losing money. Sometimes these scams can even lead to identity theft if they manage to get your personal and financial information.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a serious wake-up call.
It is.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about how to actually, like, spot these fake sites. What are some of the red flags that should make us hit the brakes before we click, buy now?
Right.
The article mentioned, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it sounds obvious, but sometimes those deals are just so tempting. It's hard to resist.
It is.
So what's your take on that?
Well, it is a bit of a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
Think about it. If a legitimate retailer is selling a brand new iPhone for, say, like $200, when it usually retails for, much, much more, how are they making a profit?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't add up. And that's your first clue that something might be off.
Yeah.
If a deal seems like wildly out of line with what you would expect from a reputable seller,
right,
it's a major warning sign.
So basically, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so besides the too good to be true deals, what else should we be looking out for? The article also mentioned like suspicious domain names. You already explained like the type of squatting.
Right.
But what else should we watch out for?
So look for like misspellings, unusual extensions, like .biz or .info instead of .com.
Oh, okay.
Or extra characters added to a like familiar domain name.
Right.
So for instance, instead of Nike.com, it might be something like Nike.outlet.net.
Right.
Something like that.
Okay.
And don't just rely on like what you see in the address bar.
Right.
You can actually hover your mouse over any links to see the actual URL that they're pointing to. Sometimes the displayed text might say one thing, but the link takes you somewhere completely different.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful about those URLs and double check those links.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so speaking of things that should raise a red flag, let's talk about contact information.
Okay.
The article really highlighted this as a major issue with scam sites.
It is.
Why is that such a big deal?
Well, legitimate businesses, you know, they want to be reachable.
Right.
They want you to be able to contact them if you have questions, concerns, or issues.
Right.
And so a lack of contact information or even like just a generic email address with no phone number or physical address, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
It suggests that they're trying to avoid accountability.
That makes sense.
And, you know, think about it.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with your order, who are you going to call?
Exactly. Yeah, there's nobody to call.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. It's like they're trying to operate in the shadows.
Yeah, they are. All right, so we've talked about deals that are too good to be true, suspicious domain names, and this lack of contact information. What about payment methods?
Okay.
Are there any warning signs there?
Yeah, there definitely are.
Yeah. The article mentioned that scammers often prefer like wire transfers and cryptocurrency payments. Why is that?
Well, those methods are basically untraceable, which is why scammers love them.
Right.
Once you send money that way, it's virtually impossible to get it back.
Right.
A legitimate business will typically offer, you know, secure payment options like credit cards or PayPal, which offer, you know, buyer protection and allow you to dispute charges if something goes wrong.
So using a credit card or PayPal is kind of like having a safety net.
Yeah, exactly.
In case you do get scammed.
Yeah, you have a much better chance of recovering your money if you use those methods.
Okay.
Think of it this way. If a website is pushing you to pay with a wire transfer or cryptocurrency, that should be a huge red flag.
Okay.
But like that's a tactic that scammers often use to avoid getting caught.
Okay, so we've talked about some major warning signs.
Yeah.
Deals that are too good to be true. Suspicious domain names. Lack of contact information. And these sketchy payment methods.
Right.
But knowing what to look for is only half the battle. So what are some proactive steps that we can take to protect ourselves? Like before we even think about entering our credit card information, the article stressed like the importance of doing your research before hitting that buy now button.
Absolutely.
It's like that old saying, like measure twice, cut once.
Right.
But for online shopping.
It is. Yeah. It's all about being a savvy shopper.
Yeah.
You know, don't just jump at the first like tempting offer you see.
Right.
Take a few minutes to investigate.
Okay.
You know, start by doing a simple Google search for the website's name and see what comes up.
Right.
Are there any like news articles or forum discussions about the site? Are people saying good things?
Right.
Or are there warnings about it being a scam?
Yeah. That's a good starting point. I never thought to just Google a website before buying something. What about those independent review sites?
Oh, yeah.
Like the article specifically mentioned Trustpilot.
Yes, yeah.
And the Better Business Bureau. Aren't those worth checking out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sites like Trustpilot and the Better Business Bureau, they are great resources for getting a sense of a company's reputation. You can see what other customers have experienced, both good and bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And look for patterns in the reviews. Are people consistently complaining about, like not receiving their orders, getting fake products, or having difficulty contacting customer service?
Right.
If so, that's a huge red flag.
So it's like crowdsourcing information.
It is, yeah.
About a website before you trust them with your money.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like having a network of online shopping buddies.
It is, yeah.
Like looking out for you.
That's a good way to put it.
But what if you've already done your due diligence? The website seems legit and you're ready to make the purchase.
Yeah.
Is there anything else
there is,
you should check before you hit that buy now button?
There's one more crucial step.
Okay.
And it's a simple one that many people overlook.
Okay.
Before you enter
any
payment information, make sure the website is secure.
Okay.
Look for HTTPS
at
the beginning of the URL. And you should also see like a little padlock icon in your browser's address bar.
Right.
These indicate that the website is using encryption to protect your data.
Right.
During the transaction.
I think most people recognize that padlock as like a symbol of security.
Yes.
It's like the digital equivalent of a security guard stand and watch over your information.
Exactly.
Speaking of protecting your info, you mentioned that using a credit card is safer than a debit card for online purchases.
Yes.
Why is that?
That's a great question. And it comes down to how those cards are linked to your money.
Yeah.
So with a debit card, the money's taken directly from your bank account.
Right.
So if a scammer gets your debit card information, they can potentially drain your account.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. With credit card, you're essentially borrowing money from the credit card company. So if there's a fraudulent charge, you can dispute it with the credit card company, and they'll investigate.
Okay.
So it's an extra layer of protection.
Okay, so even though credit cards can be dangerous if you don't manage them responsibly.
Yeah, they can be.
They do offer better protection for online shopping. Okay, what about services like PayPal?
Yeah.
The article mentioned those too.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, services like PayPal, they act as intermediaries between you and the seller.
Right.
So you link your bank account or your credit card to your PayPal account.
Right.
But when you make a purchase, the seller doesn't actually see your financial information.
Okay.
They just receive the payment through PayPal.
Right.
And this adds another layer of security because it reduces the risk of your sensitive data being compromised.
Okay, so it seems like there are multiple ways to protect yourself.
There are,
when shopping online. And the key takeaway here is to be aware of the risks and take those extra precautions.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground here, understanding how these scams work, recognizing the red flags, and taking proactive steps to protect ourselves.
Yes.
But let's face it, like, despite our best efforts,
sometimes things slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
What happens if you've done everything right, but you still end up getting scammed?
It's a horrible feeling to realize you've been tricked.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
The key is to act quickly.
Okay.
The sooner you take action, the better your chances of mitigating the damage and potentially recovering your money.
All right, so let's break down those steps.
Okay.
What's the first thing you should do if you suspect you've been scammed? The article mentioned contacting the seller.
Right, yeah.
But is that even worth it?
Yeah.
If you're dealing with a scammer?
It's worth a try.
Okay.
Sometimes there might be like a legitimate explanation. Like a shipping delay.
Right.
Or a mistake with your order.
Okay, right.
If the seller is responsive
and willing to work with you to resolve the issue, that's a good sign.
Okay.
But if they're evasive, unresponsive, or start making excuses, that's a red flag that you're probably dealing with a scam.
So don't be afraid to reach out to the seller, but also be prepared for the possibility that you might hit a dead end.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next step?
Yeah.
If the seller's a ghost.
Then it's time to involve the authorities.
Okay.
You'll want to report the scam to the Federal Trade Commission or FTC.
Right.
They're the folks who handle complaints about deceptive business practices, including online scams.
Okay.
And you can file a complaint online at their website.
Okay.
You should also report it to the Internet Crime Complaint Center.
Right.
Or IC3, which is a partnership between the FBI and the National White Collar Crime Center.
Okay.
They focus specifically on internet-related crimes.
So reporting the scam isn't just about, trying to get your money back. It's also about helping to stop these scammers from targeting other people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Reporting a scam helps law enforcement track these criminals and build cases against them.
Okay.
And it also contributes valuable data that helps them understand the latest trends in online scams so they can better educate the public and develop strategies to combat them.
And while you're reporting the fraud to the authorities, the article also stressed the importance of contacting your bank or credit card company immediately. Why is that so important?
Because they have procedures in place to help victims of fraud.
Okay.
So if you paid with a credit card, you can dispute the charge.
Oh, okay.
Through a process called a chargeback.
Right.
This allows you to request a refund from your credit card issuer, and they will investigate the claim with the merchant.
Okay.
And if they determine that the transaction was fraudulent, you'll likely get your money back.
It's kind of like hitting that undo button.
That is,
on a bad purchase.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's not always that simple. Right.
It can be a bit of a process, and it's not always guaranteed. But it's definitely worth pursuing, especially if you've lost a significant amount of money.
Right.
And even if you use a debit card or another payment method, it's still important to contact your bank and let them know what happened. They might be able to help you monitor your accounts for any suspicious activity or put a freeze on your card to prevent further unauthorized charges.
Okay. So you've reported the scam to the authorities. You've contacted your bank, and hopefully, you're on the path to getting your money back. Is there anything else you should be doing at this point?
Vigilance is key.
Okay.
Even if you've taken all the right steps, it's essential to keep a close eye on your bank and credit card statements for any unusual activity.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes scammers might try to make small unauthorized charges just to see if your card is still active.
Wow.
So if you notice anything suspicious, report it to your financial institution immediately.
So it's like checking your digital perimeter.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
For any breach.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, knowledge is your best defense.
Okay.
The more you understand about how these scams work and the steps you can take to protect yourself, the less likely you are to become a victim.
It sounds like even if you get scammed, it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not. It's about staying informed, being proactive, and acting quickly if something seems off.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. It's amazing how sophisticated these scams have become.
They're very sophisticated.
And how easily anyone can fall victim.
Yeah, anybody can fall victim to these scams.
It's not about being paranoid. It's about being an informed and empowered shopper.
Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's about shifting our mindset from being passive consumers to active, discerning shoppers
right.
who are like in control of their online experiences. And it's important to remember that we all have a role to play in making the online marketplace safer.
What do you mean by that? Like, what can we as consumers do to like fight back against these scams?
Well, for starters, we can spread the word.
Okay.
You know, talk to your friends and family about the risks of online shopping scams.
Yeah.
And share the tips we've discussed today.
Right, right.
The more people who are aware of these tactics, the less successful scammers will be. And if you do encounter a scam, don't stay silent.
Okay.
Report it to the authorities and share your experience with others. You know, this helps raise awareness and contributes to the collective effort to like shut down these operations.
That's a great point. It's easy to feel like embarrassed or ashamed after falling for a scam. But by sharing our experiences, we can help others like avoid making the same mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like creating a network of informed shoppers who can look out for each other.
Right. Right.
Exactly. And beyond individual actions, we can also advocate for like stronger consumer protections at a larger scale.
Right.
We can contact our elected officials and urge them to support legislation
that cracks down on online fraud. Strengthens data security standards and holds e-commerce platforms accountable for allowing scams to proliferate on their sites.
So it's about using our voices.
It is,
and our like collective power to push for change. It's about demanding a safer and more trustworthy online shopping experience for everyone. And I think that's a great place to wrap up this deep dive. Remember, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And by staying informed and vigilant, we can all enjoy the convenience of online shopping without falling prey to these scams. A huge thank you to our expert for guiding us through this.
That's been my pleasure.
Complex topic and for sharing those invaluable insights.
And remember, if you see something, say something.
By working together and sharing information, we can create a more secure and enjoyable online world for everyone.
And to our listener, thanks for submitting this fascinating article and for giving us the opportunity to delve into this important topic. We hope you feel empowered to shop smarter and safer online.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of a call to action for everyone out there to be vigilant, to do your research, and to spread the word.
Spread the word.
Help protect each other.
Absolutely.
From these scams. Well, that about wraps it up for today's deep dive.
Okay, great.
We've covered a lot of ground. We've learned a lot.
We have.
Hopefully, our listeners out there have also learned a lot and are going to be much more savvy and aware when they're shopping online.
Absolutely.
Again, a huge thank you to our expert.
Oh, you're welcome.
For lending your expertise.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, stay safe out there.
Yes.
And happy shopping.
Happy shopping.